Good afternoon. Appreciate everyone coming, and we're going to get started so you all can get on your way. I'm Randy Long. I'm the board chair of the Garfield County Child Advocacy Council, and so it's my privilege as we start the Child Abuse Prevention Month, April, to start it by this display, which looks great, but has the downside in that it represents the children who have been abused and reported in Garfield County, and I think that's an important point. This is the ones that we know about that have been reported, and a lot of us think with COVID that we haven't had all of those reported. So this is just a visual representation of what's going on. So first of all, I want to introduce our mayor, Mr. Panikin, who's going to come, and he has a proclamation to present from the City Commission. Mayor?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Is this a beautiful day in Enid, Oklahoma, or what? Huh? Couldn't ask for better weather, I don't think. Well, as was already mentioned, it's kind of it's a tough day because when I look out at the faces here, I think of how big the heart is for Enid, Oklahoma, for all segments, including those that are being abused in homes and stuff like that. And unfortunately, that's what those faces all represent. Wouldn't it be nice if we had like no faces out here, just a bunch of sticks hanging up? But that's not the case. And ignoring the fact that it happens doesn't solve it either. So I think this is our chance to be able to publicize it and to be able to work through a problem that we know is there. Will we ever achieve 100%? I don't know. But the goal ought to be 0 children abused. So that's where we'd certainly like to go. That said, I'd like to say read a proclamation from the City of Enid. It reads as follows. Whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. Now therefore, I, George C. Pankinen, Mayor of the City of Enid, do hereby proclaim April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Enid and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to prevent child maltreatment and strengthen the community in which we live. In witness whereof, I have hereunder set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Enid to be affixed this first day of April 2021. George C. Pankinen, Mayor of Enid. So, let me pass that to the Executive Director for the organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
You bet.
Appreciate your time.
Yep.
And as the mayor just introduced, Dustin Albright is our executive director. We have several of our staff here. If you're on staff of the Garfield County Child Advocacy Council, raise your hand so those present can see you. And then I also note that several of our board members are here. If you're on the board of the Garfield County Child Advocacy Council, please raise your hand so that they can see who's here as board members. So I thank each one of you, and those of you that are interested in this and have taken the time to get one of these children and dress them and put them out here today, I thank you for being here as well. You know, it's our vision to have safe children, strong families, and a secure community. And it's the vision statement or mission statement of the Garfield County Child Advocacy Council to stop child abuse, neglect, and exploitation as we strengthen our community by advocating for our children through prevention, education, and intervention using a collaborative, multidisciplinary, child-friendly approach. And we do that through several ways. Many of you know that we do the forensic interviews in what we call our yellow house, that's set up like a home so children can be more comfortable, and we have the technological capabilities to digitally record those interviews, which helps so that these cases can avoid court if at all possible, and the offender can be prosecuted. Then we also have the White House, which we use, DHS uses for reunifications. We have the CASA program. All of this has been going on for over 20 years because of the insight of some of our community leaders in seeing the need for this facility, and it continues on to this day. Of course, all of us should be interested in preventing child abuse, and you all hopefully are aware of the child abuse hotline, and that we need to utilize that number. I'm going to introduce one of our new board members who is going to come now and talk to us, and that's Nurum Carbon, who's the head of our PR committee. Nurum?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nurum Carbon. I am the new board member for the Garfield County Advocacy Council, and I am also the Public Relations Committee Chair. It's my pleasure to thank each one of you who have helped us make this display possible. The number of abused children in 2020 is 248. And as we know, it's because of COVID-19, but it could have been more than that number. And we had roughly 305 sponsors, 60 businesses, and 245 individuals. So thank you for all your support and your hard work by so many others would have been for nothing. We would like to thank Chisholm High School Student Council for getting the wooden children from basement, Jamie Moore, Brian Kaiser, and their OG&E crew for setting up repair for the display, Vicky Brown and Pat Stevenson for calling sponsors, Don Chambers, Kendra Pedersen, Joyce Marks, and Mitchell Baldwin for helping with ending out the wooden children on the pickup day. And thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Nurum. I got to be here this morning, happened to see the OG&E crew that was out here, and there was 4 or 5 of those guys, and man, they spent, gosh, a good hour and a half, but they got it laid out and got it put out so that we didn't have to come and do anything other than set these children on the stake. So really appreciate them and the others who came. I want you to now hear from our Executive Director, Dustin Albright. Dustin?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's really important to me. I believe that God has put me on this earth for a purpose, and that's for protecting children. I spent 23 years on the Enid Police Department, and 10 of those years I spent investigating physical abuse and sexual abuse of children and online exploitation. It was kind of like Chris Hansen. I got to do some of that cool stuff. It doesn't change the dirtiness that we see, and I only hope that by my new position that I can clean up a lot of that so that other people don't have to see it and other people don't have to investigate it. I have been greeted with amazing support. I've been greeted with an amazing crew, an amazing staff that can run this place right along without me. And I want to thank them. Thank you very much for doing what you do. Sheila, Deshauna, and Michelle, and Melanie, and Heather Jones, who covers the CASA program in Blaine and Kingfisher County. So you understand, we have a CASA program, and that's what the banners are all around the square. The CASA program is not what people think it is. It's not fostering a child or having a child at your house or having to clean up after them. Not that that would be bad, but some people have their own things to deal with at home. It's about 6 to 8 hours of work a month and visiting a child about 1 hour face-to-face every month. And they get to be that familiar face to that child in their life for the entire case, which may last 2 to 3 years. But as this child passes through so many agencies and so many hands and so many faces, they know they can depend on that one CASA to come to their aid and be their voice in court. We encourage anybody that's even interested, that wants to ask about the program or know more about it, or may direct us to somebody else that may want to be a CASA. Because about 45 of these kids here have CASAs. The rest are going to be out in the cold and the rain. That's how many of cases that we could have CASAs for potentially. So we ask for other people to come forward and help us out with that program. I want to thank the mayor, George Pankinen, for taking his time to come out here and give a proclamation. Again, I can't say it enough, thank my amazing staff for everything they do. I want to thank the MCART team. They're the professionals and the disciplines, the different disciplines that staff these cases twice a month at least. And they're able to give those kids and those cases more attention with their own professions, where before 1997 here in Garfield County, we had to just investigate it alone and go talk to those people at their offices. Now they're under one roof. Thank the United Way, our partner. I want to thank the Garfield County Commissioners for allowing us to come out here and open back up, because last year this was canceled because of COVID, so it's nice to get back out in the sun and the community. Everyone that fostered a wooden child, whether they're here or they're not, thank you so much. This means a lot to us, because funding means a lot to us too. We get a cut, you know, and things in life happens, and we depend on the community to help us out, and we really appreciate it, because every dollar goes to these kids and their services. Want to thank Main Street Enid for putting up the banners, and all of the CASA volunteers, because they are special. They are special. They volunteer their time to visit these children and be their voice in court. Thank you very much. I don't really have anything else to say, but Randy Long, thank you very much. I've been blessed to have a great board, a great staff, a great MCART team, and I couldn't ask for a better crew. Thank you. One other thing, Diana Hernandez is one of our new board members too, so I just wanted to point that out. Thank you very much for making this happen. I appreciate that.